Ottoman Steve, walking hand in hand. Gog and Magog, sodomizing the land. So many words eating up your apple. Time is running out. Soon you'll be in trouble. The apple look rosy on the outside. Yet you know that it's rotten on the inside. Oh, the apple look rosy on the outside. Yet you know that it's rotten on the inside. I see Beauty and the Beast sitting on the throne, but the city is built upon dead man's bones. I've seen your crimes and your atrocities. Judgment is now. That is your reality, yes. Though the apple look rosy on the outside, yet you know that it's rotten on the inside. Though the apple look rosy on the outside, yet you know that it's rotten on the inside. Lies on the sea, lurking from the belly of the beast. Some living in the lies and illusions. There goes many seeking solution. My gosh, how the apple look. You know, I don't know now. Yet I know that it's rotten on the inside. Gog and Magog, drunken from the cup of bread. Yeah. Devils in disguise, shoot them trying to hide. Though the apple rosy around the outside, yet you know that it's rotten on the inside. Though the apple rosy around the outside, yet you know that it's rotten on the inside. Gog and Magog. We've got to unite. We've got to unite. Come on, people, say we've got to unite. Brother and sister, say we've got to unite. Why can't we unite? Lord, I wanna know now. Why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, can't we unite? Lord, why can't we unite? Stand so divided we fall. We must unite, topple these walls. Lord, 400 years divided too long. We must unite if we must be strong. Whoa, 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 whoa. Every time I look around, I see my people suffer. Every time. All right, that is where I want to say a special greetings, a special welcome, special good day, or whatever the time of day is in your neck of the wood. I want to greet you in a very, very special way. Welcome to Civic Vibes. This program is aired each and every Sunday from just around that time, 6 o'clock in the Eastern Caribbean. And so it's always a pleasure to have you folks on board each and every time.
This evening is yet another very interesting evening, the 3rd of December 2023, where we're again going to have a very interesting and candid conversation, as it were, with a very, very special invited guest in the name of Mr. Darren Louis. Have roots in Dominica, and this brother, I can tell you, based on the information that he shared with me, at least a sneak peek of it, you will want to hear exactly what he has to say this evening to all of us here. Especially if you have young ones, the youthful ones, please gather them around that Civic Vibes table as we speak, because the information that will be dispensed here this evening may be of very, very vital use to the young ones in particular. And so, yes, we are going to talk about a very interesting topic here, as it were, in terms of, you know, young people and generally people, they are on social media these days. And the brother here, Mr. Louis, he's going to tell us exactly just how we, especially the young people in Dominica and all further afield, can make some buck, can make money, can make a business, as it were, out of social media. The proper use of social media. I know sometimes social media sometimes get the knock in the wrong way, in that some people use social media for nefarious stuff. But this evening, you're going to hear a good use that you can put social media to, and whatever platform, and yes, there are monies to be made out there. So without further ado, people, let me move across to Alvin Thomas, the co-host of the program, Civic Vibes. Alvin, special greetings and good afternoon to you. Always, Alvin, thank you for taking time off to come and talk to your Dominican people and those who are listening and watching.
Yes, lovely. Good afternoon, a pleasant good afternoon to you, my brother. And good evening, actually, yes, evening for you. It's 5:07 on our end, 6:08 on your end. So pleasant good evening to you and our guest, Darren. Good to have you guys. You know, Lofty, you're having a topic that's dear to my heart. You know that. You know how passionate I am about young people. You know how much I love having programs that focus on young people. That is one area, you know, that I've been pushing Civic Vibes over the years. How do we get young people engaged? How do we get them involved in various aspects of their lives and their society? So I, too, am excited to hear what Darren has to offer this afternoon. And just to say to all our folks who are already tuned in, a pleasant good afternoon. I'm sure we're going to have another very interesting discussion this afternoon. So I look forward to it. Before we get into the meat of the program, Lofty, I know, of course, you'd want to do some courtesies. This past week, we have had quite a few, I don't even know how to describe them, unfortunate deaths, sad deaths in Dominica, but notwithstanding, we still got to move on. We lost a champion in the healthcare business in the person of Dr. Carissa Etienne. And therefore, we want to extend condolences to her family, to her husband, Willie, and the rest of the family. Also, we lost Ronald. I know Ronald was a very good friend of yours. And then, of course, we had the unfortunate murder of two business persons in Dominica. So we've had some challenges the last couple of days. I think that has to make us more resolute as a people. And again, that's where I think young people have a role to play in shaping the kind of Dominica that we would like to have, notwithstanding the challenges that lies ahead of us. So again, Lofty, pleasant good evening, and I'm looking forward to a really good conversation.
Yes, indeed. Alvin, thank you very much each and every time. And again, yes, you already extended the sympathies, but again, on behalf of Civic Vibes, I want to touch all those who are mourning at this time, those who lost loved one for the past week or so. It's very, very tough, but you know, that is how life can pan out sometimes. All right. So folks, the numbers to call into the program sometimes later, they are 245-2396. Again, I repeat, 245-2396 or the DigiLine 615-9470. These are the two numbers that will get your voice into that space this evening as we're moving along. Remember, the program is being streamed on 2 social media platforms. That is the topic we are discussing this evening, the proper use of social media. So both on Facebook and also on YouTube. So the YouTubers, the Facebookers, those of you who are there, thank you very, very much indeed. Your feedback, your question, your comments to Brother Darren Louis sometime later in the program will be very important indeed. So without further ado, let me move across and say a special hi, hello, welcome to that space for the first time on Civic Vibes. Brother Darren Louis, good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, Lofty, and good evening, everybody who's listening today. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yes, indeed, Darren, your voice is coming powerful, and so we thank you very, very much indeed.
He sounds like a radio personality, man.
Yes, that kind of voice.
Yeah, well, you know,
that's a voice for radio and TV, man. Huh? We need to get him more.
Yeah, I know. I do a lot of recording and stuff. So, you know, I don't know. Some people say that it's calming and soothing.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
But Darren, yes, again, I want to thank you. There are many folks online now as we speak. Alvin, let us just go through the list here, the number of folks already here with us. I know a number of them, if not all of them, would want to say hi and hello to Darren, but again, they cannot do that. And so we have the opportunity to do that on their behalf, saying hi and hello to Darren. We have in the viewing audience here, Janice Jacques, good evening to you. David, Joseph, Mali, Austri, Althea, Rene, good evening to you. Yusila, James, Tizier, La Rose, sorry, Euphilie Vidal, Dana, Thilbert, Peterson, Ivinia, Joseph, Cara, Alcy, Dorian, Dorival, Niski, Alfred, Adelaide, Paul, Marvella Defoe, Petra, Carbon, George, Clyde, Gregoire, Bernard, Ulysses, sorry, Lafoy, Julian, Everlasting, Peter. Alvin, any more names you're saying?
Yeah, I think you call Lauren Lestrade, I believe. Lauren Lestrade, Gertrude Abraham Deschamps. Yes, you call it Carol Olivake Bruni, always there. Yes, you did. Pat Corbett, my brother Pat Corbett. What Pat says there? After that windy victory, I had a drink of double black with coconut water.
Wow. Yes, West Indies pull off a real good victory today.
A victory there, man. Yes.
Congratulations to them.
Yes, and we have Letitia Mills, we have Marvelin Robinson, Omar Monel, my buddy is there. Omar, good afternoon, Omar. Who else we got?
We have Lynn Loda, Jack, Angela Paul, brother Alistair Irish, Margel Durand, Mary Lorio, Peter Carbon, Judith Cochran, Maury Jules, Franklin Timothy, Gwyneth Latouche, brother Pat Corbett, you mentioned him already, Earl Francis, Kanye DeLuz, John Alfred.
Ivinia Joseph is there, present teacher. Good evening to all.
Yes, we also have Letitia Mills, Maury Jules, Justina James. You mentioned Omar already, but let me say special hi and hello to Omar because Omar's intervention is in part why we are having this program this evening.
Oh, absolutely. Good.
Yes. All right. We have Ann John Baptist just tuning in. So, folks, yes, please share the live as we move on. But yes, in the interest of time, though, we have to get on with the program here. Folks, again, the topic under scrutiny this evening is, are there any business opportunities for people, especially the young people on social media platforms? And so, brother Darren Louis, our guest, is going to break that down, unpack that, dissect that, as it were, to help us understand much more why and how there can be that opportunity out there. Brother Louis, for the persons who may be out there who don't know who is Darren Louis, a brief introduction would suffice.
Okay, well, I am a Dominican. I was born in the UK. Well, my parents are Dominican. My grandmother is Dominican. My grandfather was Dominican. I actually moved to Dominica when I was a child from the UK, about 8 years old. I went to school in Dominica. I went to Salisbury Primary School. I'm from Salisbury, Bowie. Shout out all the Bowie people in the live. And I also went to St. Joseph, which was Compass back then. I think it's Isaiah Thomas now. I went there for 5 years. I graduated in 96. 96, I came back to the UK, and I currently go back and forth to Dominica quite often. Typically almost once a year, maybe every 2 years, every 18 months or so. And I plan, my heart has always been in Dominica. I actually plan to settle down in Dominica in the near future. So I'm currently looking to start building in Dominica at the moment. So hopefully I'll be able to spend more time in Dominica and less time in the cold. Right now, it is about 1 degree out here, so it's starting to get cold. So makes you miss Dominica even more. So that's about me as far as Dominica is concerned. In the UK, I basically my main business is I'm a building contractor. I have a building firm here. I actually employ some Dominicans actually, as well as other people. We have about 5 employees, and we run construction projects in the UK. So that's sort of my bread and butter as far as what I do. But actually, my social media or YouTube, particularly YouTube, sort of, I guess, a career or so, if you want to call it that, is actually tied into my work. So what I do is I actually film our working day, sort of like what we call vlogging. So we set up a camera, we start work. Let's say, for instance, we're building a house. From the day we break ground, we film and we make the videos into episodes. So we start from, say, episode 1 to episode 50 of our projects, and we've become quite popular on YouTube. We've developed a following. We currently have almost 50,000 followers on YouTube at the moment, and I think we have about 11 million views in total on the channel. So that's my main sort of channel. I do have 2 other channels as well, which I'm currently building. And but that's the main channel that I pretty much make videos almost every day. So it's like 2 full-time jobs I have at the moment. But I really enjoy doing it. Obviously, what we're going to talk about today is money, and how it can be used to earn a living. I do make money from my videos, so I don't do them out of the goodness of my heart. So I get paid by YouTube for my videos. I'll explain a little bit more how that works logistically. Obviously, in the UK, I am fortunate that I am able to be a part of YouTube's partnership program, which is a program that YouTube launched quite a few years back, where they allowed people to create content for the platform and share in the advertising revenue that YouTube earns. So you might notice when you watch a video on YouTube, most videos now, you will see an advert. Maybe before you even get to see the video, when you click on the video, you might get an advert right in the beginning. You might get, depending on the length of the video, you might get adverts in between the video pauses, like you would on normal TV, and also at the ends as well. So as a content creator like myself, I can actually place ads in my videos where I want them to be, or I let YouTube do it, which is what I tend to do. I let them do it. So YouTube obviously gets paid by the companies who are putting the adverts, who are paying YouTube to show those video adverts to their viewing public. So when you become a partner with YouTube, YouTube cuts you a part of that revenue. So currently we get 55%. We actually get the lion's share. YouTube takes 45%. So every dollar that's spent on the advertising, we get 55 cents. And this is in US dollars. YouTube's all its money is dealt in US dollars. So obviously, you have to do the math into EC. If you're in Dominica, it can work out, quite a fair bit of money depending on how well you do. But that's the sort of general consensus around what I do on YouTube and why I do it.
Yeah, indeed. The content of the discussion so far is warming up quite nicely here. And so thank you very much, brother Louis, for your opening thoughts here. Let me just ask you, so let us start the conversation really from scratch. There may be some persons out there who may be looking at YouTube videos on there, looking for social media, but exactly where we are going this evening in terms of making money off YouTube in particular, how would someone go about, how can someone go about setting up a YouTube channel in order to, benefit from what we're going to discuss this evening?
Okay, so there's two things here, and one of them we're going to get to the issue when it comes to Dominica in a bit.
Okay.
So if you're viewing at the moment and you live in the United States, Canada, the UK, majority of Europe, you can start a YouTube channel anytime you want. I mean, anybody can start a YouTube channel anywhere in the world. You can register a channel and you can start creating videos. You can get subscribers anywhere in the world. The only difference between some countries is that YouTube's partnership program is only available to certain countries. It's not available to every country in the world. And unfortunately, the vast majority of the Caribbean is not included in the partnership program, which robs a lot of content creators or people who want to do videos or do it for fun, or maybe want to do it as a business or a career. They unfortunately are alienated from earning money for what they do. So if you, as I said, if you are in those countries that I mentioned, it's very simple to register a YouTube channel. Now, as I said, anybody can create videos, but to earn money from YouTube videos, YouTube does have a criteria. The main criteria before you are able to get a share of the revenue from the ads is you need to have 1,000 subscribers. So that tells YouTube that there are 1,000 people out there who are interested in the content that you're creating. So you can build that subscriber base over a number of months, a year, or depending on how hard you work. I'm currently building a channel at the moment, which I started 2 months ago, and I'm probably about over 900 subscribers. So I should soon be able to earn revenue from the adverts on that channel as well, to add to my portfolio. But essentially, you need 1,000 subscribers. And also the second and main criteria is that you need to have at least 4,000 hours of content have been watched on your channel. Again, this is an indicator to YouTube that people are interested in your content. So how that can translate 4,000 hours, what that means is, if you try to keep it as simple as possible, let's say, for instance, we have our interview today, which is going to be about an hour long, and you post that interview on YouTube, and it's 1 hour long, and 4,000 people watch the entire video. You've created 4,000 hours of watch time. So YouTube will be looking at the milestone of the 4,000 hours and the 1,000 subscribers. Once you reach that milestone and you achieve that, YouTube will welcome you into the program. So they'll give you an invitation, and you simply just fill in the application online. And 9 times out of 10, as long as your content is not breaking their rules, because at the point when you apply, they do a sort of verification on your channel and make sure that your channel's content is, according to their terms and conditions, then they accept you in the program. And from that moment, every advert that gets played on your channel, you essentially are earning money from it. And so what they do then is every 30 days, YouTube pays you into your bank account. So now the last criteria, which is what I kind of want to touch on more today, is residency. So YouTube is a business, and YouTube sells advertising to companies. That's really what YouTube is doing. They have a what we call a social media platform for you to watch videos and so on. Well, how YouTube makes its money is selling advertising to companies, and they sell a lot of advertising. If you imagine millions of videos that are watched every day, and there's just thousands and thousands of adverts being played through all these different videos. So that's how YouTube makes the billions that it makes. So YouTube, this is my view on my take on it, and I think most people will agree. YouTube only enlists countries in the partnership program where they feel the advertisers will be interested in advertising too. So it's purely economical. For instance, America, everybody will want to advertise their businesses in America because, you know, there's a lot of money there. There's a lot of economic activity. Now, unfortunately, for the smaller countries, even the countries that may be doing well, because maybe their GDPs or their overall revenues are very small, sometimes accessibility to people who live in the country to purchase the products of these companies are limited. So YouTube currently hasn't rolled out to, as I said, majority of the Caribbean. So in the Caribbean, for instance, I had a quick check. The only Caribbean countries that can enroll in the partnership program are Jamaica, Anguilla, funny enough, I think is based on their links to the UK, as well as the British Virgin Islands, the Cayman Islands, again, all again connected to the UK, and 3 French countries, French Guyana, Guadeloupe, and Martinique. So these are the only within the region that can actually earn money from their videos. And obviously for me, you know, I always felt that that's unfair. Personally, I feel it's unfair. I feel that anybody that's creating content for YouTube, and there are lots of Dominicans who make YouTube videos. I watch some of them. They make TikTok videos, similar situation over in TikTok, but unfortunately they cannot be paid for the videos just because of where they live. So I thought a lot about it, and I wanted to find a way for Dominicans who want to create content in Dominica to earn revenue from their videos that they create. So I essentially want to create a YouTube channel which will showcase or will be available for Dominicans to create their videos and post to the channel. The channel will be connected to a British company, so it will be essentially a British company, really, but we'll be bringing Dominicans through the back door, basically. So that allows the channel and the content to be monetized. Then those who create the content will be able to earn revenue off the videos that they put on there. And they will, you know, we have access to a back end where there's a lot of resources that YouTube has. It will literally, you can click on any video on your channel and it will literally tell you how much money you earned that day on that channel, how many views you got, what country the views came from. There's a lot of statistical data that we use as YouTubers to fine tune our content and so on. You know, so that is really what I want to create. I just want to read something real quick, please, Lof, if you don't mind.
No problem.
I don't know if you know, there's a website called change.org, which is a website where people put in global petitions of different issues. It could be a crisis somewhere, and people put signatures and so on to try and get maybe the issues addressed in their governments and so on, the parliaments. But I came across a petition on here by a lady in Barbados. It currently has 1,300 signatures, and it says, get Barbados to join YouTube's partner program. And this is a lady who's actually a budding a videographer, and she wants to have a career in videography. But so I just want to read one paragraph that she mentions in her petition on why it matters. She said, unfortunately, while the YouTube partnership program is available in many countries across the world, Barbados isn't one of them. This means that someone living in Barbados can take the time, effort, and money to create needed to create videos to upload onto the platform, achieve the necessary criteria to be paid, but will not receive any funds simply because of the country they live in. So this is someone in Barbados is in the same situation as the Dominican would be, and many other Caribbean countries, and the majority of African countries as well. Out of the 50 or so countries, I think there's maybe 6 or 7 African countries that are actually eligible to earn money. So is a problem, especially with the way the world is moving, technology, social media. I mean, we're on here now doing this. You wouldn't be able to do this 10 years ago. And you know, you'd have to be on radio or TV. And you have people now who are on social media and they have their own shows on YouTube that get more views than mainstream TV. This is how big social media has become.
True.
You know, I watch certain channels that can get 1 million views in one day, you know. So we have to be thinking ahead and creating avenues for revenue and opportunities for people to find other ways of earning money. The 9 to 5 is something that is becoming more and more of a thing of the past. And not everybody is going to be in construction. Not everybody is going to be a teacher or a doctor. Some people are going to find other ways to earn money. So I think that we need to look into how we can create this revenue. And obviously, this is revenue that is also going into Dominica's economy as well, you know, which is being lost out. So there's lots of opportunities. It's just us navigating how we can get access to those funds that we're currently being blocked from.
Yeah. Well, Brother Louis, trust me, so far so good. A mouthful indeed. I want to thank you and compliment you for that innovative, brilliant idea that you are talking about this evening. I know lots of folks, they're already glued and they're listening very, very intently indeed. Some more questions coming my way very soon, but let me give Brother Thomas. I'm seeing I'm seeing on his face he has a question or two. Alvin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like we say here in the US, Darren, because I'm in Atlanta.
Okay.
And you hear ching ching, you know, you hear that term ching ching when the cash register rings up, you know.
Yeah.
No, but seriously though, I want to compliment you first of all on that very innovative idea, that entrepreneurial spirit, and it's a great and fantastic idea. And like you said, I think it's an opportunity for young people to tap into. There's tremendous potential. And I think social media, the way it's evolving now, I mean, just look at, since YouTube has been in operation, we've since had TikTok and several others. And that is the way that is going to go. And I think it's a excellent and great opportunity. So I really, really want to thank you. But let me just ask you though, in terms of, you know, most of the times when little guys like you and I try to make an extra buck here or there, Uncle Sam want to come and have a piece of that. I guess it's the same in the UK. You want to have a piece of that, you know, that kind of thing. What is is there anything like the international taxing regime or anything that comes into play?
Yeah. So before, YouTube used to, everything was sort of, it's almost like you were self-employed, you know. You were sort of like, YouTube just pays you and they'd like, you know, it's up to you to deal with whatever you do, whatever country you're in. But, you know, governments don't like to miss their cut. So they've all collaborated. And there's another similar scheme actually that has happened recently internationally, where basically all the governments essentially put pressure on YouTube. So now it's sort of filled. I can't remember the name because it's been a while since I've done an application for monetization, but there is shared information between YouTube and the countries that you're in. So we had got to put tax codes in and stuff like that. So it all gets taxed and stuff. But basically the obviously the people will be creating the content. Let's say, for instance, I host a channel here and, you know, we got 10 people in Dominica creating content. And the idea for me is a regular sort of scheduled content. So maybe you could have somebody who creates content on a Monday, somebody on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday. You could have, and the good thing about YouTube, you could have 10 videos posted in a day. I know the YouTubers who do that. They literally, their full-time job is sit there and maybe talk about social issues or whatever and post 10 videos a day, and they make a good living off it. But then if people who are paid now through the UK company to Dominica, it would be up to them to take care of any income taxes they would have to do. That would be purely up to them on how they do it. or how what vehicle they set up to deal with that, whether it's for a business or individual person or whatever. So I wouldn't know about that side of things. What it'll be taken care of on this side.
Yeah.
But from the UK end,
yeah,
you pay on the revenue generated in the UK.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, they say uncles, the tax man always look for ways of getting the piece of the pie.
Yeah.
He stand on the side waiting to collect.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Any side hustle, they want their piece in it.
True. All right. But Darren, as we are moving on here, can you speak a little more in detail now as to the channel or the avenue that you set up in order that Dominicans or whoever is looking at now, be it very young or up in age, they could use the, as you said a while ago, I'm using your term, the backdoor channel to get some of that much needed cash their way.
Yeah. I mean, I did throw the idea out on Facebook a couple of weeks ago, and I've had a few people contact me who I need to set up to discuss with them. I'm still drafting sort of more formal plan of how it would work, and but basically, people, the best thing to do is if there's people who feel that they may have interesting content that they can create. And when I say interesting, you may think it's not interesting. This is the thing. You may think that what you do is not interesting. You might be somebody you're a farmer. Let's say you're a farmer in Dominica. You might think nobody interested in videos about me going up in the farms and showing different things. That's what you think. But my first viral video on YouTube was a video of me and another guy. He's from Salisbury as well. We were working together. And we were cutting and over somebody's backyard was just overgrown with bushes. And we went there and we cut all the bushes for him. And I recorded that. I just put a camera on a tripod and I filmed us cutting the bush. And I posted that on YouTube. That was one of my first videos I posted. And that video has made 1 million views on YouTube from that simple video of just people just seeing two guys cutting grass.
Wow.
So you can't think that what you do is not going to be interesting for someone, because also you got to think YouTube is global. Every country in the world essentially can watch YouTube, really. So you have people from all over the world who are watching it, and people who are intrigued to see things they've never seen before. So this is where, in Dominica, we've got so many different things that people have never seen. As I said, just a farmer. You could be a fisherman going on sea and filming what it's like to be on the sea on a boat. There are people who will sit and want to see that every week. They will be waiting for your videos of your catch of the day and the things you experience on the sea. There are people on YouTube who are barbers, and they make millions of views a year just cutting hair. And then tomorrow they have another video. But they're already doing this. They're already barbering. They're earning money being a barber. And they're still earning money of just recording and sharing what they do. And there are a lot of people who will watch it. So you might be somebody who likes to cook. And you can cook various dishes, especially the dishes that people have never seen before. One of the very popular YouTuber from Jamaica, he's a Rasta in Jamaica. His YouTube channel is called Ras Kitchen, and he has over 700,000 followers on his channel. And he has videos that are in 2-3 million views in a video. And just for context, currently on average, for 1 million views on a video, YouTube will pay you about $5,000 US dollars. So you're talking over 15,000 EC just for a video that might, a video if it was to do as well as that. And the other good thing about YouTube is that you got to look at YouTube as a library. It's a search engine, actually. It's owned by Google. Google bought it, and they have connected it with the Google search engine. So YouTube is basically the video section of Google. So the videos, YouTube's plan is for the videos to essentially remain on the platform as a library, which means if you post the video today and you start earning money today, in 20, 30 years time, if this still exists, you'll still be earning money from that video. It's not like you put a video and YouTube pays you and says, here you go. Bye-bye. It's like, as long as YouTube has adverts on those videos, you're earning money. I'm earning money from videos. I have one video that comes to mind. It is probably my best doing video. My video has done the best so far. It's over 2 million views. I did 1 million views on that video this year, and I posted that 2 years ago. And this year, it done 1 million views, and that's me sleeping. I haven't touched anything. It's the same video that's just there, and people are watching it. So you're creating content to be paid in the long term as well. So that's the sort of good thing about it. So what I want people to think of is that not to be limited by you watch YouTube and there's some people on YouTube, they're very fancy, high tech, and there's some who are just got their phone and they film something interesting and they post it, and you will be surprised how what you think nobody wants to watch, there are people who will be watching it and who will follow you. So people to be open-minded. This is for anybody, young people, even older people. People want to hear, there's a funny one, people want to hear older people speak.
True.
There was a man who, when he was in the news here, he went viral, and I think his channel was called I can't even. It was something to do with around dad, in the sense that he created a channel where he was talking. He was doing things that maybe a young man who doesn't have a father would been able to show him. Like, he might make a video and say how to tie your tie, or how to cut your beard, or whatever it is. And his videos went viral. He has made millions of views, millions of followers from that, because all these young men started looking at the channel, and he was talking to them about different things. He's just an elder man, so it really is, what I'm really trying to say is, don't limit yourself. If you feel that you've got something that you can do and it's something of interest to you, and you can be consistent with it, and which is the main thing with YouTube. To be successful, you have to be consistent. And unfortunately, some people, they start it, they don't see the views that they want, and they get discouraged and they stop. You have to be consistent, and you got to build it. And it's a snowball effect is how YouTube works. You build it consistently, and it gets bigger and bigger. So this time you might get 10 views a day. Next year, you might be getting 100 views a day. The following year, you might be on 500 views a day. And that's how it works as you build your following and so on, So yeah, it's something that can work for anybody. It really can.
2 quick questions for you, Darren.
Yes.
One, how long you've been doing this? And secondly, in terms of the content, do you own that content once you post it on YouTube, or is it belongs to YouTube? And like you said, there's perpetuity going on in terms of revenue generating.
Yeah, that's a very good question, actually. So the first question, I've been YouTubing for I think I started in 2019, so about 4 years before the pandemic. Funny enough, the pandemic is what actually helped me to become to sort of build my channel, because I think there was a lot of people at home, and a lot of people was sitting on YouTube. And as I said, there was a video of me and a guy cutting the grass, and that video during the pandemic, right in the beginning, it just took off. And one day I looked at my YouTube and I had thousands of views that day, and the next day I maybe had 20,000 views on one video, and I was like, oh, what's going on here? And within a week I had 1,000 subscribers. And then I realized I was eligible for the partnership, and I signed up, and then I started earning money, from that video. And I said, well, I better get doing some more videos. And then I started doing more videos, and Now I'm only 50,000 subscribers almost, you know. So yeah, it was about 4 years. But yeah, the question you asked about who owns the content, you own the content, which is the good thing about YouTube. And that's why it's called a partnership program. So the partnership is that YouTube puts the video adverts between your videos, and they give you a cut for allowing them to do that. So obviously YouTube, even though you own the content, YouTube owns the platform. So YouTube could remove your videos for anything, but they can't stop you from removing the videos. Even if they say, we don't want you in the partnership program anymore, you can delete your videos. It's up to you what you do with the content. There are a lot of sneaky, cheeky companies out there. I have many of them. They contact you. They contact you and say, oh, can we use your video and put it on our website, and we'll make loads of money and we'll give you a share of it. And they send you these contracts where they basically try to take ownership of your videos. There's a lot of, so that's something to be careful. That once you start being successful on YouTube, you're going to get all these sort of vultures and stuff. But that's basically what it would be. So what I'm trying to create, essentially the platform within a platform, will be the same thing. You will own your content. Whatever content you create, you'll own it. So you have access to the back end of the channel. So you can remove your content or whatever you want to do. But yes, you do own the content, and which is the great thing about YouTube, with the YouTube's platform.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Folks, it is already 10 minutes to the hour of 7 o'clock. We're having a discussion with Brother Darren Louis. We are talking about the good use, the proper use of social media in terms of monetizing your page, so that at least $1 or $2 can be earned from there. Basically, Mr. Louis is giving a very innovative idea that he came up with, saying that Dominica as a country is not one of those countries that can be part of that YouTube monetization program. So, Brother Louis, again, let me just go back to the question that I asked before in terms of if someone, for example, like myself in Dominica, would want to use your platform, use whatever you created thus far, how does that, play out? How do I get in contact with you first and foremost, and what do I have to do to get enrolled?
Yeah, so the best thing to do is to contact me and let me know what your ideas are.
Okay.
I want to create an open platform with a variety, more of a variety channel. So it won't be limited to any particular niche, but it will be Dominica based. So it's a place where you can see somebody who shows you the island, videos of the island. I tend to do that when I'm in Dominica. I'm always creating videos on one of my channels. You could be, as I said, you could be a fisherman in Dominica. You could be a farmer in Dominica. You could be someone like yourself, where you talk about political topics, and it could be somewhere people can tune in. Let's say it's like you do on a Sunday or whatever. So really, as long as the content that's within the guidelines of YouTube, I personally am open to a variety of allowing a variety of opportunities. So probably at the moment the best way to contact me is, well, you can contact me on Facebook. I don't know if now if my details are on there with the Facebook or not, but my name is Darren Louis, so I'm quite easy to find on Facebook. That's probably the easiest way to get hold of me at the moment. If you prefer to use email, you can use email as well. My email, you can use my company email, which is pbuilders@hotmail.com. That's P for Papa, builders@hotmail.com. So you're welcome to send me an email. So I can work with you. Obviously, have a lot of experience as far as the platform and how to create content and what sort of content and how it works and the best type of contents and the best length of content and so on. So I'm willing to sort of give guidance on how to create your videos, what maybe equipment you can use. You don't necessarily need to have very fancy nowadays because of technology. Most phones are HD and all sorts of things now. It's like
You don't need lots and lots of equipment. My main channel, all my filming is done on iPhone 14. That's what I use, and I have a cordless microphone, lapel mic that's connected to it, and it's actually my phone. I edit all my videos on the phone, and I upload them from the phone. So I do everything on a phone. I don't have to go onto laptops and edit and spend lots of time doing all that. So, you know, it's so much easier to do things than it used to be. And most of us have the technology in our hands that we can utilize to do you know, YouTube things. So yeah, get at me with your ideas, and I'll try and see how I can guide you and so on, and we can discuss and figure out how to get you on the platform.
Sure. All right, Darren, so far so good. We're going to take a short break now, a break so that persons could sort of take a breather at this time. Folks, remember the numbers will be on your screen. Just in a while, they'll be scrolling across the screen. Those are the numbers to call just in case you have a comment or two or some feedback based on what you heard thus far. If you need a clarification or two, don't let Darren go and call Alvin, Thomas, and myself. Huh? Darren is here. Use him to the best of your ability. But let's take a all-needed break at this time. Thank you very much, Dominicans. Those of you in the region or further afield as well.
Nice again. Yeah, yeah. How many more decades round the street corner before society realize young people not breaking the law, they're fighting a war? Dominica, open up your eyes. Cause all this rage and anger, hostile behavior, lack of respect on the public road, it means they can't take much more of societal neglect. So before this war explodes, arm them, arm them, arm them with the tools they need. They just want to succeed in whatever their field of endeavor. They have their rights. They have the strength to fight. And if we do what's right, we win the peace. They win their war.
All right, Dominicans, we're talking about how we can use social media to make some much needed buck these days, huh? Our special invited guest here, Brother Darren Louis, is taking us through the steps. So far, so good. And yes, Brother King Dice talking about arm them. That is what we're doing here this afternoon, in a sense, arming our young people, especially to earn a buck or two. One more verse from the Dice, and we're back to Mr. Darren Louis.
How many more fatal traffic accidents? How many more children to be buried by parents? When they fly their bike in the air like stuntmen, it's a show of open defiance. And while politics divide us, the country's best resource, intoxicated and wasted away. Meanwhile, those who hold power, they really don't care, cause it's not they and theirs who'll be exposed to the dangers. Arm them, Arm them with the skills they need. They just want to succeed.
Arm them with the skills they need, indeed, from Dice. And we are doing some arming this afternoon. Read this conversation.
Field of endeavor. They have their rights. They really want to fight. But if we do what's right, we win the peace. They win their war.
All right, thank you very much, Brother King Dice. Indeed, they win the peace. We win the peace, they win the war. Yes, folks, it is already just about cruising up on the 7 o'clock hour. In just a while, Brother Darren have to leave. And so if you have a question or two, the numbers to call 245-2396 or 615-9470. Darren, in the live feed here, I'm seeing a question from Marshall Lawrence, who says, question for Darren. What about seniors who may be interested?
Did you say seniors?
Seniors, yes.
Yeah, most welcome. As I said, they are YouTube, as I said, is open to all. The platform is open to all. And as I said, don't be restricted in your thinking of what people will be interested in watching. I mean, I don't watch TV anymore. You know, anything I watch is on the laptop online. A lot of people now, they don't use the TVs that much anymore. If I'm not creating videos, I'm watching them on YouTube, and I watch everything. I watch the weirdest stuff. You know, I watch videos of guys building mud huts in the rainforest somewhere, you know, with no sound, no talking, no music, you know, just, you know, and these videos have millions and millions of views. You know, people who watch everything, the thing that they find interesting. And what a lot of people, the way we are, is a lot of us, what we find interest is in the things that aren't alien to us, things we haven't seen before, and something that's different from what we're used to. So, you know, it really is open for everybody. YouTube is not for young people. It's for particularly YouTube. And this is why I focus on YouTube. More than sort of like maybe TikTok and those places, they have a more of a younger audience. But I'll give you an example. Actually, while I'm here, I can actually
Darren,
just check.
Just before you go to that example, we have someone on the line. Let's see if you can entertain that caller for just a bit. Sure. Yes, caller. Good evening to you. You are on to Civic Vibes. Your comment, caller. Are you there? Good evening. Don't know what is happening here. Caller, can you hear me? Are you there?
I've lost him.
Caller, are you there? Yes, this caller is there, but it seems as if
more of a younger audience. But I'll give you an example. Actually, while I'm here, I can actually just check.
Just before you go to that example, we have someone. All right, let's see if we can entertain that next caller. Caller, good evening. Are you there?
Good evening, guys. What's up? This is Omar. I just want to say thanks to you, Lofty, for reaching out, for putting something like this program today, making it available to so many Dominicans who are in need of an income stream. Thank you for Darren. You know, that's my boy right there. You know, I always try to support him in any endeavor that he has going on, you know. You know, I want everybody to take advantage of, you know, good people like Darren. They don't come very often these days, you know. So again, I just want to thank everybody for listening, tuning in, and utilizing any type of pathway or available income stream that comes their way. Anyway, thanks. Have a good day, guys. Bye.
All right. Thank you very much indeed, Darren. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. We had somebody else there, but that person seemed to drop off. Caller, please call back. Yes, Darren, you were making a point earlier.
Yeah, I was saying, as I said, I use my phone for everything. You probably can't see it here, but this is basically my back end of my YouTube channel. So I get all my statistics and we call it analytics and so on. So I can see my audience. I can see the ages of my audience, what percentage are within certain ages, the percentage of gender, what countries they come from, and so on. And for instance, my 65 and over, 11% of 65 and 11% of the people who view my channel are 65 and over. You know, the majority are between 35 and 45. 20% are between 45 and 54. And I have 18% between 55 and 64. You know, so
can you run these numbers again? Let me hear these numbers again. Run these numbers again.
Okay. And this is obviously specific to my channel.
Yeah.
But I was saying that 11% of my viewers are 65 and over who watch my videos, or have watched in the last 30 days, for instance. And I can choose over the last year or whatever. 55 to 65-year-olds is 18%. 45 to 54, 20%. And the highest percentage who watch my channel are actually 35 to 44, which is my age bracket, 25%. And only 5% are between 18 and 24. So I don't have a lot of young people watching my content. It's mostly sort of older people who maybe have retired and now they sit back enjoying and watching younger men work, you know, and they take an interest in it. You know, so your various channels will be different, but also this is something I'm gonna explain as well, and my thought process behind creating the channel and allowing a variety of topics. Now, YouTube, typically what people tend to go for when they do YouTube is what we call a niche. So a niche is a very, very defined particular subject that you do on YouTube. So as I said, if you're a barber, for instance, you cut hair, that's your niche. You focus on that. You could be a woman who does makeup or hair or fashion or whatever. That's your niche. Some channels are a bit more broader, where we can have multiple niches within that channel. So what that would happen is, let's say there's someone who enjoys watching a makeup tutorials or something like that. They would subscribe to the channel based upon the videos that they've seen of this lady doing makeup. But then there may be somebody, like, as you said, an elder person who creates videos and talks about life and sort of things. That person may now come across those videos because they come on the same channel. And now they getting views from someone they wouldn't necessarily have got views from before. So there's going to be a lot of sort of crossing over, which I think will help to build the channel quicker and will help to let other people benefit from the people that different videographers will be bringing into the platform. So that way we're all sort of connected and working together to grow the channel. So as far as the channel is concerned, I actually have a dormant channel. Basically, it's a channel that I built up, but that I haven't been using because I use it more when I go to Dominica. I have a lot of footage of Dominica, and I'll go to the falls and I'll show different things and stuff like that. But I don't use it very often. So the thing with the YouTube is, I know I mentioned about the 4,000 hours you have to have. The 4,000 hours is an annual thing. To remain in the program, you must have 4,000 hours of videos being watched over the last year. Now, when you don't use a channel and you leave it dormant for a year or so, mine has been dormant for about a year and a half, then it will dip in views. And because of that, YouTube will remove you from the program. So that channel is actually not monetized at the moment. I think it's somewhere around the 1,500 views or hours, 1,500 hours. So I would need to put another 2,500 hours into it to get it back into the program. It has the subscribers already because it has over 3,500 subscribers, but I'm just not using it like it should be used. So I actually plan to use that channel and rebrand the channel, keep the Dominican content I already have on there, but because there's already people who are interested in Dominican content on that channel, and just rebrand the channel as I'm not sure, some sort of Dominican channel. And just start with that because we've already got the subscribers, which is one of the hardest things to grow. It's harder than getting the 4,000 hours, believe me. So that milestone is already achieved. All we need to do is start posting some content, and realistically, if we post content regularly, within a month we will have the 4,000 hours and the channel will be monetized. And from that moment on, everybody's videos on there will get paid for whatever videos are on that channel. So that's what I'm going to start with, because it's just easier than starting off again from zero. You know, it's sort of halfway there already. You know what I mean? That's what I plan to do with that.
Yeah. Darren, some persons are just tuning in at this time, and they're late. And so they may just want a little catching up as to what you said before, because I'm seeing some comments are saying that Dominica is not one of the countries that can be part of that program that you're talking about. But you mentioned that avenue that can get some Dominicans involved. Can you just, just go over that for us again in a nutshell?
And let me add, while he's doing that too, maybe he could speak briefly to the copyright issue which come across. I saw at least three people ask about copyright. I just want to speak about that a little.
I can't see the questions though. Do you want to?
Yeah, I realize that.
What the question is about the copyright?
Some persons are basically asking or suggesting
one person asked about the music. For example, if you use some music with your content, that music has to be a music that is not copyright, or how does YouTube react to a music that may be copyright? I guess, and maybe one of the things you could do is, what are some of the do's and don'ts? Things you could do, things you could not do.
Yeah. Okay, I can answer that. So the first one, we've been talking about that earlier, and why I'm trying to create this avenue is because we are aware that the majority of the Caribbean, not just Dominica, are not eligible to be enrolled in the partnership program, which means any Dominican who's registered on YouTube doesn't get paid for the videos, and we're trying to find a way around that. So the idea is that we're going to filter the videos through a London registered channel, and that way the videos will be able to be monetized, and then whoever's creating the videos can get now paid via that YouTube channel or company. So that deals with the issue of the Dominica issue as far as not being able to create content. There are lots of people who actually do that. Funny enough, there are some channels that, as I mentioned about those guys who are building these huts somewhere in Indonesia or wherever they are, they're actually American companies, actual proper big production companies. There's a lot of them actually been exposed that they're actually real production crews, and they're not just two guys in the jungle somewhere, and they're actually real companies that set these up, and so they are able to earn all the money for all the millions of views that they get. I don't know how they pay the guys who they're doing it with, but if they were just doing it in the country, they wouldn't be getting paid for all that, for those views. So that's how we're going to get around this sort of revenue issue. The copyright, there's a couple of ways. Yes, if you use music that belongs to an artist, as long as that artist has registered their music on the relevant sort of, networks and so on, YouTube has a very, very complex, very intelligent software system. It's all AI. So if you post a video and you're using somebody's song on the background, and their song is being copyrighted or protected, then the YouTube will detect it, and it will detect it within seconds of posting it. And what would typically happen is, before what YouTube used to do, it used to block out the audio. You might used to watch some videos and a certain part, the sound is gone. YouTube used to completely cut out the audio, but YouTube has made an agreement with the music publishing companies where YouTube will allow the video on there, but what YouTube will tell you, they'll send you a message and say, due to the copyright of this artist music that you're doing, the money is going to go to them. So you can create the video, but the artist gets the revenue that you would have got. So that's why it's important not to use artist music, because you're going to lose out. But YouTube, what YouTube has done, when they did that, they created a library of music, and YouTube has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of music on various different styles of genres, etc., that they've paid people to create for them. And that music is free as a YouTuber for you to use on your videos. And all my music I use on YouTube, I take from YouTube. I just download them from the platform, and I put them into my videos. So that way YouTube has paid for the music. You don't have copyright issues anymore. And as long as it's within YouTube's library, you can use the music, and you have no copyright issues and stuff. So it's very important to stay away from copyrighted music, because you will not earn any revenue once it detects that sort of music. So the do's and don'ts, generally speaking, do's and don'ts. There's not a lot of don'ts on YouTube, to be honest. You sort of can create what sort of content you want. Obviously, explicit content and stuff like that. And what I would say to people is to do some research on YouTube's website. If you just Google it, for the terms and conditions, it gives you an idea of what things are not allowed. There are certain things that are sort of not monetizable. So even though YouTube may allow the videos on their platform, they won't allow you to become a part of the program, because they don't want to associate maybe their advertisers with your channel. So, you hear sometimes of people being deplatformed, maybe sometimes because of their strong political views or topics on certain issues. The YouTube may say, you're allowed on the platform, but we can't partner with you. You know what I mean? But 99% of what anybody's going to do is not going to be problematic on YouTube. So, especially in Dominica, you can just do or talk about whatever you want, to be honest. It shouldn't really be any problems there at all.
So
obviously, yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, obviously, if I'm speaking to anybody who wants to create content, I'm going to go through with them their content and what they're creating and the best way to create it and what tools to use, how to film it, where to get the music, and I can even help. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna, because there's gonna be a lot of people who are not going to be able to edit. Maybe we're gonna have to look into eventually of some sort of editing team or something. Otherwise, maybe Nick I may help with the editing. So maybe people will just send me the footage and I will just edit the videos or something like that. I don't know. Maybe work something like that. Or there are external editors that you can use. I know a YouTuber, actually, he's American, but he lives in Africa at the moment. He's a big YouTuber and he makes maybe 5-6 videos a day, and he has a team of editors in various countries, because it's cheaper for him to outsource a lot of the editing. So he just sends them the clips and they literally put all the graphics, they make the videos and they upload the videos. So he just has to keep recording, and he just sends the clips to them and they do all the work and he pays them, obviously. But, he makes hundreds of thousands a month on YouTube. So it's profitable for him to just pay editors to edit the content for him, so there's ways around, and we're going to find our way and develop our system that will work.
Let me ask Darren. You said you're in construction and you're doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you get the time to do that, Darren?
Everybody asks me that.
Everybody asks you that question. So
how do you have time?
How do you do that?
Everybody
asks about consistency. I agree.
Yeah.
And the time, and I mean, give me the magic formula. Give us the magic formula.
Okay, so the main magic formula is hard work. That's the first thing. You have to be willing to work hard. You can't be a lazy person. It takes a lot of time, but also you have to work smart. You have to find a system that works for you. So when I give you an example, when I mentioned earlier about my first video went viral. I made that video, I put it on the computer, I edited it, I did all my editing and whatever. It took me at least 2 hours to make the video. I posted it. I made another one. I made about 3 videos in the first year and I gave up. I said, this is too much work. And I literally stopped. I had stopped. And maybe I made 3 videos and I stopped. And then it took a whole year when the pandemic came. And one of my viral videos, for some reason, everybody was sitting at home looking at these guys cutting grass, maybe thinking, I'm at home now. Maybe I'm going to tackle that backyard that I'm going to do. And when the video went viral, I said, all right, I need to get back onto doing the videos, but I got to find a way that's easier for me to do it. Not going to take me, because I go to work, I finish work, and I also wanted to be more regular with the videos. So I started filming. I changed my phone. I bought the latest iPhone, and I said, I'm going to use the phone because the phone's got great cameras and all these different things. I started filming. I got a tripod. I put the camera on it. I started filming. Very simple. Put the tripod here, film what we do. Sometimes I talk in the camera a little bit, explain what we're doing. And then I found a good app on the phone that I could just edit it on the phone, which for me now, I've got so used to it, I can edit a video in 15 minutes. And what I tend to do, people say, how do you do it? What I do is when I finish work for my day, I jump back in the truck and I edit my video and I press upload and then I drive home. And by the time I get home, the video is already online. And that's what I do. I don't do any editing at home. When I get home, I'm finished with YouTube. It's all done already before I get home. And it's just, I developed my system. I developed my system of how I film, and how I film in a way that's easy to edit. And as I said, there's tools now on phones. You don't need computers and laptops and cameras and hard drives and all these different things you used to need that take forever. You can do it on your phone and you can upload it from your phone. I put the music on it from the phone. I put the text, I put the graphics, and I just hit upload from there, and it's very easy. So it's all about developing a system to streamline a lot of processes and make it, as quick and easy as possible. That's it. Yeah. But you do need to, sometimes I finish the working day and I don't feel like I got to edit, but I know people are waiting for videos by 8 o'clock. So I got to get it on there,
Parent Joseph said, discipline, patience, and consistency.
100%. 100%. Yeah. Patience. You have to be patient, because in the beginning, you feel nobody's interested in what you're doing. But people just don't know about what you're doing. And that's what takes time, is to get known, is to get awareness. People like something, they might share it. Someone else sees it, and it snowballs. And also YouTube, the way YouTube works is the algorithm, what we call the algorithm, which is essentially the program that YouTube has created to decide who it sends and what videos it should send to people. Because when you go on YouTube, all of a sudden on your homepage, you see videos. It's like, who's that? What's that? YouTube detects what side of things you like, what type of videos you like. Or also, if you like boating, Alvin, okay, and you watch a cricket video, Loftus likes cricket and boating, and it says Loftus and Alvin's connected. He knows that he likes it. All of a sudden, something you watch starts showing to Loftus. So people you might not even know, they start getting to see your stuff because they have similar interest, or maybe someone else who's watching your stuff. And that's how it works. The algorithm works. So the more, and one of the most important metrics is the longer people engage with your videos, the more YouTube shows it to people. So if you've got a video, we have what's called a watch ratio. So if you have a video that's 10 minutes long and people watch 8 minutes of that video, YouTube said that's a very good video to keep people watching it for 8 minutes out of 10. And what it does, it starts to push it to a few other people, and it sees, and more people watch it. It says, okay. And then we have what we call the floodgate, when you go viral, where YouTube says, we're going to try and push this and see. And all of a sudden, it pushes it to 1 million people that day. And maybe 50,000 might click it. And YouTube will gauge it and see. The algorithm will say, we sent it to 1 million, 50,000 watched it. Maybe it wasn't so good. Or 100. And then it pushes it and it pushes it and it pushes it. And that's how it works. So it's something, there's a lot of techniques and things to learn. YouTube again has a lot of information out there for people to go and watch on how to grow your channel and different tips and stuff like that. There's loads of videos on all that stuff. Thumbnails are important, thumbnails, something that's interesting. Am I going to click on that based on the image I see? These thumbnails are very, very important. So there's lots of things to learn, which obviously I would help with and stuff like that. But it's something that once you get used to it and you start paying attention to the analytics, you start to see what works with your individual stuff. And then you just fine tune.
I suspect you might have to do some training shortly. You might have to do some Zoom training for some budding entrepreneurs.
Yeah, of course. Yes, I can 100%. Yeah. I'll support. I'm there to support. I'm here, and this is why I'm doing it. I'm here to support. So even if it's people want to create content,
Civic Vibes will have to.
Yeah. If people want to create content and we have to do some tutorials or do some whatever Q&As, I can help as much as I can and give advice or whatever of how to get started and so on.
Somebody on the link asked, when is the best time to get in touch with you? Marshall Lawrence.
This time.
What's your scheduling like? I know you're on London time.
Yeah, I'm a hard person to get to. I'll tell you that now. No, the best way is via message. Send me a message on either the Facebook. I did put my email address.
I saw it. He built
the comments. Yeah. So my email address is there. Send me an email. We can then maybe I'll probably exchange numbers. I don't want to put my number on there.
Right. Understand.
Individually, whatever. Or Facebook message. Send me a message on the Messenger. If you I'm in the UK. So what time is it now in Dominica? Now it's about 7.
25 after 7.
25 after 7. So we're 25 after 11 here. So we're 5 hours. I'm 5 hours ahead of you. Yes. So don't call me when it's 10 o'clock in Dominica because it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm in my bed. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, most of the time when in Dominica, people call me in the morning and it's in the middle of the afternoon here, So yeah, I'm basically just bear in mind I'm 5 hours ahead of you. Mm-hmm. But obviously if you send me a message, I can respond to it when I get the chance or when I see it.
True. Darren, on behalf of Civic Vibes, my brother, I want to say thank you very, very much. I know we committed you tonight for at least an hour, or you commit with us rather, about an hour thereabout, but we've seen that hour has gone, and so we are like half an hour into or past that hour. So we are cognizant of that, and we don't want to, rob you of the wrong way in terms of time, knowing that it is, on the stroke of your midnight in a while. So based on the feedback coming in on the chat, I know we will be getting some comments, questions that we may want to pose directly to you after the program. So you can look out for that as well. But in a nutshell, Darren, based on what you said tonight to us, can you just sort of bring it home now in a nutshell so that those persons who may have tuned in late could get at least a good snapshot of, the content of what you said tonight before we bring it to a wrap?
Right. Yeah, sure. Well, yeah, I just want to say, firstly, thank you for having me. And I've enjoyed myself. And as I said, I do YouTube, and I've helped other people as well with their channels and stuff. So, I'm very passionate about, YouTube and so on. So I'm willing to work with my people and try to bring some of that money to them. Well, generally the idea is that we are trying to fight against the system of disinclusion, if you want to say. We have been left out as Dominicans have left out of the funds that are available to those who create videos on YouTube. So the idea is to create a platform in the UK which Dominicans can funnel their videos through and be able to earn revenue from those videos via Google's advertising partnership program. So that's basically what you want to do. So as I said earlier, nothing is, all ideas are welcome. Everyone's in welcome. And as I said, I can think of so many different things in Dominica that would be interesting content. So if you've got something that you do, you might think it's not interesting, but there's a lot of people out there in YouTube world that may disagree with you. So if you know, at all ages, it doesn't matter. The only issue though with the ages things, you have to be at least 18. That's the only thing when it comes to creating content, because YouTube it gets a little bit tricky with the ages or under ages and stuff. But yeah, generally speaking, so yeah, contact me. Let's see if I can help in some way. We can work together and create this hub for Dominican creators, and see if we can get some Dominicans to earn some revenue from YouTube.
Yes, indeed. Alvin, your final thoughts to Mr. Louis before he goes?
Yeah, well, first of all, Darren, I want to thank you immensely for your contribution and your wealth of knowledge, YouTube knowledge that you shared with us this afternoon. I mean, I personally learned quite a bit. I use YouTube myself quite a lot. Normally at nights, I lay back and look at various YouTube videos. Matter of fact, a couple months ago, the power went and my fridge got messed up in terms of not setting the temperature to Samsung, and everything I tried couldn't work. So I said, you know what, let me go on YouTube. And I went on YouTube, and YouTube walked me through exactly what to do. And then, of course, my wife came and she said, did you get the fridge fixed? I said, of course I got this fixed, man. Later on, I had to confirm, it's on YouTube, I got the information.
100%, yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff on YouTube you can get. I mean, electrical stuff, the whole 9 yards. So we really appreciate what you've done. As you speak, there are several Dominicans back home that can take advantage of that. I have a very good friend who is into the bee honey production.
Okay.
And I can just see a YouTube video
100%
perfectly on that. So I intend to check him out on that once the program is over. So I really want to thank you. We're gonna bring you back on Civic Vibe. There's no doubt about it. I can see us putting together a sort of Zoom training or something where we bring a small group, especially the folks who sign up, who reach out to you. We could, if it's a small group of 10 or 12 of us, where we can do a 1-2 hour where we can go through some of the nitty-gritties of how to proceed. I think that is needed. So we've just merely scratched the surface. So thank you on behalf of Civic Vibes, and we'll be in touch, my brother. All the best in what you're doing, and congratulations again.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
All right, Darren, thank you very, very much, my brother. We'll talk sometime.
My African spirits looking over high. Oh, my African spirits guide and protect I. Oh, my African spirits, please, my African spirits, take your guide and protect I. Take your protect I.
Dominica. Dominica. Listening to the good music of a brother Nasir Fontaine, indeed, huh? Entitled this one, African Spirits. It's 7:30 here in Dominica and the rest of our space, that is the region in which we live.
Oh, my African spirit.
You just heard a very, very interesting and informative program with Brother Darren Louis. Enough information indeed of just how we in Dominica can make some much needed buck at this time using social media, in particular YouTube. So once again, Brother Louis, Darren Louis, thank you very, very much indeed, brother, for coming to share your wealth of information with us, the listeners. And yes, a Dominican, indeed. A lot of times we think that Dominica don't have the talent, huh? Dominicans stand proud and tall no matter where we are.
Oh, yes, you are.
So folks, the next half hour till about the 8 o'clock hour,
And you yourself, that's
we're gonna just have a freelance session, as it were,
I'll be regret.
where we're gonna talk some issues or some other issues. This week being a very sort of painful week in Dominica, a number of lives lost. No cricket for us in Dominica, and the list goes on and on and on. So it's your time, Dominica. Use those telephone numbers on your screen: 245-2396-615-9470 to get your comments in before the 8 o'clock hour. So the next 25 minutes is devoted to us. Alvin, your take as we are moving on to the 8 o'clock hour, some of the other issues affecting us, be it negative or positive, in Dominica.
Yes, Lofty. First of all, let me just say again that the first segment of the program that we had was a very, very, very interesting and informative session with Darren. I mean, this guy has this thing well wrapped down, man. The way he explains it and I think is willing to share and give back to Dominica and the people of Dominica is cannot be overlooked. You could see the willingness from him, the humility in him, everything in that look. I have this thing. This is something which I think other persons like myself can benefit from, and I'm ready to share that with my people. And I'm saying all of that to say that all of us doing this thing, especially those of us outside of Dominica, like myself and several of the other persons who are on our feed today, we want to give back to Dominica, Lofty. We love Dominica. Unlike what this Prime Minister feels and refers to us as economic terrorists and all terms he referred to us out there, we want to help Dominica. Listen, physically I'm in Atlanta and I've been here for many years, but my heart is in Dominica. My heart is in Dominica. I'm telling you. And I see Darren coming across as that as well. I asked him about his to give me the percentage, and it's interesting, Lofty, because he says his age group between 35 and 44, 25% of the people within that age group, 35 and 44. And in Dominica, I have with me a document that was prepared in November of last year by the Ministry of Finance. And it was a document from the government of Dominica submitted to the Eastern Caribbean Currency Exchange. It's a prospectus, actually, applying for treasury bills. But in the document, on page 11 of this document, there is where they give a breakdown of the demographics for Dominica as of 2019. Because as you know, the last census that was done was 2011. And that has not been published. So we don't have any official census data. However, the ministry may have had some information at their disposal. So they have reflected in this document under page 11 what is referred to as the demographics. And let me just say to you, the age group between 25 and 40, that is made up of 19,828 of our population. And in percentage term, that represents 27% of our population. That's between the age group 25 to 40, okay? The age group between 15 to 39 represents some 40-something, 45.5% of our population. So what I'm trying to say is that we have a very young population back home, okay? The population 60 and over, 60 to 79, we only have 8,777. I didn't calculate the percentage, but that is that is calculated on a total population of 72,231 as of 2019. Okay, so we have a very young population in Dominica that are not able to get jobs, may not be able to have some, what you say, further education. Some may have been able, lucky enough to get into the state college. So here is an opportunity based on what Darren has just presented to us for these young people to get engaged. We on this program, we have said time and time again that these young folks are more savvy with the YouTube, the TikTok, the Facebook, all the social medias, and that's available. And you hear him. He says there, look, all you need is an iPhone. You don't even need a laptop or an iPad. Your iPhone, you could record the content, you could edit the content, you can upload the content, and he's available to assist these young people. And what happens in the end, Lofty? You're monetized for it. More, you get money for it. You're paid. So what could be better than that? Huh?
You are monitorized. You monitorize the account.
Not terrorized.
Let's take a caller on this line, Alvin. Caller, good evening to you. Yes.
Okay, good evening, sir. You said we're freestyling, so I got a question to ask.
Sure.
The government paints a very rosy picture of the state of affairs in Dominica. However, owing to a lack of funds, we won't be able to host the ICC World Cup round. Can you tell me what's the mood of Dominicans? Are they still worshiping this government and thinking that this is the best thing since sliced bread, considering that we are just at the bottom of the barrel and everything? Yeah, that's all I need to know.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, caller. Let me just think a bit of that question that you posed, and then I will come back to you in just a bit. Alvin, yes, the caller asked a very interesting question of me as to the mood of the people on the ground.
Yeah,
but you may want to continue, Alvin, whilst I ponder on that.
Well, I can't speak to the mood of the people on the ground because I'm not there. But what I will say, which I did, because I called into SIBO and Ozzy Lewis program on Thursday on Sports Rap, and I made the point that it's not just the fact that we were not able to host and we've lost in a game. As we know, Dominica has a lot of cricket enthusiasts, people who love cricket. It's across the Caribbean, and Dominica is no exception. But what has happened is that, again, from an economic standpoint, the country has been denied an opportunity to be because had the games taken place over the 4 days, you'd have had the hotels. The hotels would have, the rooms would have been booked, I'm sure. You'd have had the taxi guys, the car rental, the restaurants, even the little lady on the side of the road selling her little bakes or her little water, as folks walk up to the stadium to see the games, would make some money. So can you imagine what we have lost? Again, this administration doesn't allow people to be dependent. And that is exactly what Darren is putting forward. Hey, guys, here is an opportunity to be dependent, because the government don't want you to be dependent. The government wants you to come to them tomorrow morning and say, hey, my daughter is sick, so can you help me to go to PMH? Or can you help me to send them overseas? Or can you help me pay my rent? Or can you help me bury them? And that's a dependency syndrome. We have gone away from the thing where we have to allow people to be self-sufficient. Had the games taken place, this lady would have gone and made some bakes and salt fish and roast plantain and juice and water. The guy who has his little ride would have been, taxing people across. The hotels would have been filled. The little restaurant would make some money. This is the spillover you would have, Lofty. I mean, we have here in the US what is called Super Bowl. And when a state bids for Super Bowl, and Super Bowl is held in a state, Lofty, man, you know the amount of money that states make? Everything is bubbling. It's bubbling. So just to say to the caller, I can't tell you what the mood is, but I am almost certain that it was a total loss for a number of people. I'm not sure, and I'm taken aback that, there's been a silence from the Hotel Association, the DIC, all these people, because I'm sure they may have had rooms booked already, and people now have to cancel bookings and stuff like that. Car rental companies and all that stuff. So it's just unfortunate. It's really unfortunate, Lofty. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, it is unfortunate indeed. Dominicans, I can tell you at this time, in terms of just providing an answer to the caller who called a while ago, really non-hosting of the cricket in Dominica after Dominica as a country was selected by the cricketing body. What I can tell this caller is that based on feedback so far from Dominicans generally, there's a general discontent that Dominicans love their cricket. A matter of fact, anytime there's cricket in the park, especially when West Indies is playing, the 8,000 plus or 7,000 plus capacity stadium in Dominica, that stadium is normally full to the brim. So a lot of Dominicans are really on edge, as it were. They are not being able to see or feel or touch or whatever it is in terms of, everything that comes around with the cricket. But having said that, having felt that level of discontent in terms of utterances and just hearing people vent on social media, whatever it is, I must plug in that point there as well, in that Dominicans, to me, have become that fighting spirit. It is becoming less and less and less as the days and months and even years go by. And so even on that occasion of not being able to host the cricket, I think in days gone by, whoever government, it is this one now, but whoever government would have said that to a people, the Dominican people, then the Dominican people would not have just taken that sitting down. They would have to do what they have to do to basically make those games a reality. But the fighting spirit, as I said, is just not there. And it's gonna take a whole new, how I want to say it, a new kenosis, as it were. It's like a cleansing from inside out to get that fighting spirit back, get Dominicans have their mojo back, as it were, so that Dominica and Dominicans could benefit the good of Dominica. So my brother from Antigua, I'm not expecting much from Dominicans, having seen how Dominicans behave in the past as it pertains to things that affect us negatively in Dominica. You hear the little shoo-shoo here and there, but as to this collective united voice moving forward and the demands, then that has not been forthcoming. And so some persons have been saying, maybe we have been bewitched, some way, shape, or form. Some persons are of different opinions. But I personally think that the level of greed that have taken over this land, the level of selfishness that has taken over this land, coupled with those is a level of evil that is pervading over this blessed land. Then I think the Dominican fighting spirit, there needs to be this sort of, reawakening of self, reawakening where country is concerned, so that we as a people can deal with that head on. And as Groover said in song, maybe we will see our milk and honey days again. But as of now, brother, I am not putting my bet. I'm not hedging any bets on Dominicans to do anything better until and unless that fighting spirit has awoken. Alvin, we have 10 more minutes to go. We can start now to sort of, pull the conversation together so that we can release our viewers who have been there from 6 o'clock to 91st, viewers and listeners.
Yeah, well, Lofty, I listened to what you've just said, your comments, and it's really as someone who is on the ground.
We have another caller, Alvin. Let's see if you can entertain this caller. Caller, yes, good evening to you. You're on to Civic Vibes.
Yeah, I called you back. I thought it wasn't on. Sorry.
Okay, caller, Alvin, that was a private call. Caller said he'll call me back.
Sure. No, I mean, I was saying that you're on the ground, so you have your pulse on the ground. And I'm sure you are saying all what you're saying based on your observation as someone who is active on the ground. You're just somebody there in Apasa. You are actively engaged. And it's really disheartening, to say the least. But like I've always said on this program time and time again, I'm a man of hope. So I hear what you say in terms of where people are, in terms of their own thinking, their engagement, their approach, but I am still hopeful. We have seen other countries that went through similar ordeals, if I may put it this way.
Alvin, let me just interject there one bit. It's
sure.
10-2. We have another caller on the line.
Sure. Let's
caller,
take it.
yes, good evening, Civic Vibes. You are on.
Yeah, good evening, Lofty.
Hi, good evening, bro.
Yes, good evening to your brother there, our brother. I forgot his name. What is his name?
Thomas.
What's his name again?
Alvin Thomas.
Alvin Thomas. I had to get accustomed to that name because I've known him a lot. Lofty, for a number of years now, I must say that on the record.
Caller, you are a Bible man, eh? So just remember the disciple that had to push his finger right there to make sure. That's the man we have there.
Lofty, don't do that.
But for a number of years, Lofty, I know I've been asking you questions for a number of years. And sometimes you can answer me, and sometimes you will direct the question to somebody so that I can ask, because you cannot answer all questions, and this is understandable. But Lofty, after listening to you and the brother Thomas, I came to the conclusion that would that cricket take place in Dominica, there will be a lot of outside people coming to view that, coming for the cricket for the match, right?
Yes.
Okay, right. But no, it cannot happen. And the reason why it can happen is it is unbelievable.
the contractor, I listen to the contractor and I say, oh, this is another reason why people believe I hate the Prime Minister. I said it to him on the other side already. I love him, but I do not love his policies. Because when you listen to the contractor, we know everything that happened. It happened because this present government did not want the cricket to take place in Dominica. So now I am going to ask you another question tonight. Is it because that the government will not be able to give all the Dominicans they gave tickets in the past? Is it because they won't be able to do it? They did not want this cricket match to take place so that people will observe. Only visitors came to view the cricket and Dominicans couldn't go. Is that possible, Lofty? I don't know, I'm asking.
And that is a good question, caller.
I just thinking. I'm at home and I'm thinking. I want to know whether that's a possibility that they know this time they cannot give away tickets, and it will be a shame to see all the people who came to Dominica, who comes to Dominica to view the cricket. They are outsiders, St. Vincentian, St. Lucian, Dominicans that live overseas. I want to know, man. So if you can tell me at the end of the program, if you know, tell me, I'm listening. Good night.
All right. Good night. Good night, caller. Thank you very much. Well, caller, just to answer you in brief, what I know is that the ICC, that is the body that is governing the cricket that was supposed to happen here in Dominica, that is International Cricket Council. There are a number, Alvin, of checks and balances where that body is concerned. And so what we normally do in Dominica, the norm in Dominica, these people will have none of it. A matter of fact, there's very little room for that to take place in terms of this, this politicking, the politics of the game. And so it maybe that was one of the reasonings or rationale why the games could not take place here. So the brother may be onto something.
Yeah, I agree, Phil. There's no room for Coco Macaque. They have a thing they say in Coco Macaque, there's no room for that. Mm-hmm. So I think the caller has made a very good observation. You can't dismiss that. And you see that as a point again. This administration believe that Dominicans in Dominica and overseas are stupid. But they're not stupid, And I was about to say, Lofty, just before the caller called, that I understand what you say, and I feel your pain, and I feel the pain of most of my Dominican friends who are, as they say, who's in the kitchen feels the heat. But I am hopeful, Lofty. I'm really, really hopeful, because I'll tell you, Lofty, this thing cannot continue forever. And I know the second part of the program, we were supposed to have spoken of young people and their engagement in politics and voting and all that, and we didn't really get to it. But I'll tell you one thing. Young people are rising, not just in Dominica, but throughout the world. Maybe we're a bit slow in Dominica, as you have pointed out, but you have, as we speak now, between the age of 15 and 29, a young population of 3.5 billion people out of an 8.7 billion population. So almost 50% of the world population is comprised of young people, and yet the age 15 to 29, 3.5 billion. So that includes Africa, the rest of the world. And trust me, they are not sleeping, Lofty. A lot of times we have the notion, that, young people don't care, young people don't this, but I don't think that is 100% correct. If you, Lofty, do a survey around the country and just randomly ask young people their views on certain things, they will tell you. You may ask the follow-up question, well, why are you not engaged? And they may give you an example like, well, boy, they're manning their thing, I not in their man thing, blah, 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 whatever. But that doesn't mean that they're not listening and they're not thing. As I always tell people, I am old enough, Lofty, to remember Grenada under Eric Gary.
And just touching on that point, Brother Alvin, Grenada, it is 4 minutes to the hour, 8 o'clock. And so, as I said before, we have to release our people by 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
so
we will.
Let's start to bring it to a wrap.
Yeah. So clearly Grenada had Eric Gary and he had the Mongoose Gang. And we know, those of us who are old enough to know, and those of us who are not old enough can go and read about it. And then out of that, the Morris Bishop emerged because they couldn't deal with this anymore. And after the Morris Bishop got off, you had Keith Mitchell came in, and Keith Mitchell was there for almost two decades. He was the last election that was held in 2022. Had he won that election, would have put him there for 20 years. As a matter of fact, the opposition party lost the 2 previous elections. Keith Mitchell won all 15 seats. 15 seats in 13 and 2018 again, he won all the seats. And then the party, the new Democratic Party that's in office now came in and won. So the point I'm trying to make is that there is hope, okay? How soon is that hope? As Sam Cooke says, change is gonna come, change must come. And I'll end on that.
Thank you very, very much indeed, brother.
Now we're calling on the African National Council. We're calling on the Southwest African People's Organization. Now!
Dominica, it's 2 minutes to the hour of 8 o'clock. So here's where we bring the curtains down on this evening's program. Nasir Fontaine singing this number, Freedom.
When the children cry, freedom, on the bed door rise.
So yes, folks, on behalf of Civic Vibes, we want to thank you very, very much indeed for your eyes and ears for yet another very interesting program.
On the children
We also want to thank in a very special way Brother Darren Louis, guest here earlier, who spoke eloquently the topic
freedom
of tapping into social media, in particular YouTube, to make an extra buck.
working as your slave.
So Dominica, that's it.
Let us have a separate ways.
See you next week Sunday, same time, same place. Bye-bye. We love you. It's 8 o'clock. We're gone.
Freedom of expression, freedom of speech, written in the Human Rights of Declaration. So, whoa, whoa, whoa. And the children, and red blood run thick. See my people crying for freedom. Hear the children cry under that tall rise. See my people crying for freedom. We need a freedom in a full equality. Freedom for Mandela from apartheid misery. We don't need no sanction from no big-time hypocrites. While we there are suffer, they gon' play in politics. Cause hey, freedom of expression, freedom of speech.